It's vlogging time, come on grab your friends, we'll talk about my haircut and then my bowling ball and stolen credit cards will fill out the video. It's vlogging time. What's up vlogging pilots, Vlogging Poncho here. It has been over 2 weeks since I last made a vlog and things have been busy. Oh boy, I've had a lot going on lately. To talk about the little things that are just kind of all over the place, I've been keeping track with my white notebook that I showed in the previous video of all the things I've been working on, and I have been achieving goals that I forgot I had. It's awesome. I'm getting a real regular pattern of looking at my life from a sort of an eagle's eye view, bird's eye view. Kind of mix the metaphors there. Getting a bird's eye view on my goals, and it's showing me which ones I'm achieving and which ones I'm not. And I like where things are going. I've been doing a good job of sticking to my diet. It's been about a week now that I've been pretty consistent with it. It was sporadic for like the couple weeks before that. Now I'm really sticking to it. I'm making sure to account for my lunch calories so I don't leave myself without room for a good dinner. Things like that. I've been... what else? I've been working on Let's Plays a lot. Oh man. I finished recording the second playthrough of Dead Rising about... 6 months after I started recording the first playthrough. So it's taken us a while. Those videos were sitting on my hard drive throughout the entire, like the full first run and the overtime mode were sitting on my hard drive for like 3 or 4 months while I was so crazy busy at work I had no time to even edit them. And now I finally, things relaxed over the last month, and I've gotten through and I filmed the whole second playthrough and it's done now. The game is finished and it's so satisfying. You guys will get to see the videos. It's going to be great. The last 2 videos are where we get those achievements that I've been trying to get for years, but I won't talk about it anymore. It's kind of a nice moment. I don't want to spoil it. So now on to the things I mentioned in the song at the beginning. I almost forgot that I was even doing that. I sat down and started talking, and I was like, wait, I need to play a song first. So first is my haircut. I got a haircut. Next is, well, no. Basically, I've been going to the same barber 3 haircuts in a row now, and I think that's the way to go. Like, if you're a guy and you're... if you're a guy, you should, I think, go to a barber. Don't go to like a cheapo place. Don't go to a hair salon that's, really for women. You need to go to a barber, somebody who specializes in men's hair. I mean, you might pay slightly extra than going to like a Supercuts or wherever, but they're not going to do a very good job with you at like a Cuts by Us or a Supercuts or whatever. Supercuts is trying to change their image with the new commercials they have, but let's face it, they're trying to get you in and out as quick as possible. They're not interested in quality. If you go to a barber who really understands men's hair, and like that's what they specialize in, they're gonna be able to look at your head and whether or not you wear glasses and things like that, and tell you like, well, maybe I understand what haircut you're suggesting. Well, maybe you should try a little more like that, blah blah blah, this and the other thing, and basically keep you from looking like a weirdo by taking the haircut you asked for and telling you a little bit of, well, you can do that if you want, but I think with your head shape, it would look better if you did this modification to what you suggested. And it's like, oh yeah, that does sound like a good idea. Do that. Blah, blah, blah. And they'll help you out and they'll help you look good. And I always tip really well when I go to the barber. I tip pretty well in general since I started working because I appreciate how much people in the service industries work and they don't get paid as much as a lot of people think they should. So I like to reward people for good work with good tips. And I always give the barber like 30% or more on the cost of the haircut, just especially if they do good banter with you and not just like the obviously forced banter where they'd actually talk to you. Like the guy that's cut my hair 3 times, I feel like he knows enough about me that if I saw him at Walmart, I would say, hey, I'd wave to him, and he'd like wave back and be like, I cut that guy's hair. Which is good, It's good to know the guy, so it's not just some stranger you're paying to cut your hair. I mean, I'm not going to invite him to a party or anything, but you know him well enough that you're comfortable going in there and you go to get your hair cut by the same guy each time. So that's about all on the haircut. What are the other 2 things? My stolen credit cards. Oh my god, I have no idea how it's happened. But my credit card number has been stolen twice in the past 2 months. I'm totally flummoxed. The first time I was like, maybe I bought something online and like the site wasn't secure or what? I don't know. I can't think of anything I haven't been going to any disreputable sites where I would be worried about my credit card number getting stolen. So I was really just kind of at a loss the first time it happened. And I was like, it must just be a fluke. Like, I thought it was the heartbleed thing, and like, well, maybe USAA was actually compromised for a little while. Maybe they got my number with that, and they just waited like a couple weeks before they tried to use it. And so I got a new card sent to me, and then I had the new card for all of like 2 weeks before that card's number got stolen. I'm like, whoa, something really weird is going on here. Like, I don't know what's going on. So I looked at all the places that I had used that credit card, like the most boring, standard places that you would spend money. I went to Walmart, I went to Kroger a few times, I went to local restaurants, I paid for Netflix, and I paid for my internet, and I paid for my phone. That's it. Those were the only expenses that that credit card was associated with. It wasn't linked to any PayPal accounts or anything like that. And so it's like, where's my credit card number getting stolen? Like, I assume that the sites that I pay my phone, like the phone bill and the internet bill, I feel like Comcast and Netflix, they've got to have some kind of security going up. Like, they're not handing my credit card number out to people. At least, I sure hope not. And so the logical conclusion that I've come to now is that one of the restaurants I go to, some waiter's swiping credit card numbers. And I don't want to, point fingers because, it's hard to justify that kind of accusation because there's so many ways you could lose your credit card number. But like, I've exhausted every other option. And it's just like, one of these restaurants, somebody's seriously stealing credit card numbers. And I don't understand how they can get away with that. Like, nowadays, it seems like most credit card companies have security on your card, so I haven't had any extra charges that I've had to pay for or anything. In fact, the charges that they've tried to do have been in like Pennsylvania or something, so I'm in Georgia, so USAA looks at that and says, that's not you. And so they don't even let the charges go through, they just deny the card, or deny the transaction. And so they've attempted to steal about $500 from me in total. Like motels and Publix and things like that up in Pennsylvania. Which, that's another weird thing, is like, if the guy's stealing credit card numbers at the restaurant, is at a restaurant, how is some guy in Pennsylvania getting them? Like, why isn't he using it locally where the card would actually work if he stole the number? So I'm totally perplexed. Like, at this point, I'm going through like every other option I can think of because the restaurant thing seems far-fetched, but the only real option. So I'm thinking, okay, I went through all my online accounts. Like, previously, I had used not the same password for everything, but different versions of the same password. A lot of people do this where like it's 80% the same password and you change something on the end, or like sometimes it's capitalized, sometimes it's not, stuff like that. So I use like variations on the same password for pretty much everything. I went through to all my accounts and they all have totally distinct passwords now. I mean, it's just all kinds of different things. So if you get one account, you're not going to be able to guess any of the others. So I figured like maybe somebody had like hacked into my email and they were able to like recover an account on one of the sites I go to. Like maybe they got my email address and then they were able to recover my password from Comcast, get on Comcast and get my credit card number. I was like, that doesn't make sense either because I went to the Comcast website and it only shows the last 4 digits. So like, how are they going to get? I got nothing. So I'm thinking like maybe I got spyware on my computer or something. So I'm like running virus scans. Nothing. I'm totally out of ideas. All I've got left is some asshole at a restaurant. And so I guess it's a good thing that I'm on a diet and I'm not eating out much anymore because it seems like I tend to get my credit card number stolen when I do. This credit card, I'm being very, very careful about where I use it. I'm only using it at restaurants where I can watch them, like, swipe it, Like I do it at Kroger myself, or I bought something at the bowling alley today. I watched him do it, and it's like everywhere I go now, I'm watching that card like a hawk, because if they're stealing it off of the physical card, I'm going to fucking see them next time. I'm going to flip out on them, because if I see somebody trying to steal my number now, I know it's the guy who's done it twice before, and I'm probably going to punch him in the fucking face. I'm not exaggerating. If I see this guy do this, I'm going to fucking wail on him. I really hope. I'm almost tempted to, like, give him my old deactivated card and, like, just watch him and, like, kind of like act like I'm going to go to the restroom and see if I can like look back into the little nook where the credit card thing is and see what he's doing. So I would love to catch this bastard in the act. Oh man, post it on Reddit, like on the Justice Porn subreddit or whatever. Oh man, that would be so satisfying. But really, I know I shouldn't take that kind of risk, so I'm just being careful about where I use it. I'm keeping a very careful eye on it. I'm not going to use it for anything online anymore. It's just like, what a pain in the ass this has become. It's like, I don't know how else to defend myself. I don't know how the number got stolen this last time, so it's like, I don't know how to prevent it from happening again. I'm worried that my bank is going to get pissed at me and be like, what are you doing, losing your credit card number over and over again? It's like, I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't even know what's happening. So I've been dealing with that lately. Pretty stressful. Alright, that's the end of that. Let's not talk about that anymore. On to brighter topics. At the bowling alley today, I got my own ball. This is a 15-pound, I don't know what the material is. Maybe that series of numbers and letters means something to you. It doesn't to me. Although I do know I got a star at the end. This ball is part... Oh, it's greasy. It's like a baby. I'm like, oh, it's kind of a mess. It smells. Anyway, if you drop it, it's bad news. This ball is part of a GM bowling league that I'm now a part of. They had a deal where you pay so much a week to be a part of the league, and if you pay a little bit extra each week, you get a ball at the end of the league. Turns out if you pay the whole thing up front, which amounted to $150, you get the whole 12 weeks of the league, which is shoes and 3 games a week. That's what the league gets you each week. And then the ball you get up front if you pay it off, if you pay up front. So I paid last week. I went into the club shop and they measured my hand. They measured the diameter of my 3 relevant fingers with this device that looked like a ring sizing thing. You just try different holes until they find the one that's like, oh, that's the right size for that finger. Da, da, da. They measured the distance from where my knuckle bends across my palm down to where my thumb bends, so they know the right distance to put these holes. Yeah? And let me tell you, if you're a casual bowler or if you've tried bowling after seeing these vlogs and say, hey, that looks like fun, if you're bowling with the house balls, oh my gosh, it's so much better when you have a ball that actually fits your hand. So at least at the Brunswick zone that I go to, the house balls are all in good shape, but it's like the finger holes are designed for giants. So you have like the 12 and 13-pound balls where the holes are tiny and really close together, to the point where I can't even get my fingers in because my thumb is too fat. And then you go up to the 15 and 16, or the 14 and the 15-pound balls, and it's like the holes are really far apart and they're enormous. It's like a gorilla could use this. There's just no middle ground for people with normal man-sized hands. Like, I don't know. So now finally having a ball that fits me, my average went up like 20 points in a day. It's amazing. And I'm so glad I have this. I have to do research now to figure out how to take good care of it and make sure that it doesn't get degraded over time, because I know that the oil from the lane, if you leave it on the ball for extended periods, it can degrade the surface of the ball. And then I know you want to, I mean, professionals, like, you see them toweling their ball off after every throw. You need to do it at least like at the end of your game, like when you're ready to go home, you towel it off before you put it in the bag. So I need to buy the equipment and do the research to take care of that thing. Ooh, bag's closed. And part of this process has also been me learning. Today I learned how to properly hold a bowling ball, because when you're throwing a house ball, usually the holes are too far apart and they're too big, or they're too close together and they're too small. Either way, you have like a death grip on the inside of the ball, where you have pressure on the tip of your thumb and the tips of your fingers holding it so that it doesn't slip out of your hand with the holes that are too big. When you have a bowling ball that actually fits you, all the grip, it's hard to demonstrate, all the grip is everywhere but the thumb. It's like this. So I should be able to hold the ball properly, like that, without having my thumb in there. And then when you have the release, but you don't want your thumb to be on the inside of this hole, because that bends your finger, makes your thumb too fat, and you get stuck. It's not good. So you want to keep your thumb straight, and the thumb just slides right out. I'm not doing it. It slides out naturally as part of the release for the ball. And that's tricky to get used to, because After having a death grip on the house balls for so long, now I'm having to remember to hold with these two fingers and to let the thumb just fall out as I release. And I'm already more consistent. It's so great. Oh man, my eye, it's part allergies and part I think I got bowling oil in it just now. So that's what's been going on in my life lately. Ups and downs. I'm on the team for the GM leagues. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to go on for like another 10 weeks or so. Every Tuesday I'll be bowling. It's good that it's part of a routine now. I'm eager to take this ball back there and practice with it some more. I'm thinking I might go there sometime later this week at night when they have the unlimited bowling and pay the $8 or whatever and get in there. Apparently, actually, it's even cheaper for me because I'm on a league. I can pay like $1 per game, I think, something like that. So I got to take advantage of that. Practice with the ball some more before next week so I can continue to bowl above my average. Take advantage of that handicap in the league. Yeah, so if you guys have any suggestions about the credit card number thing, I'd be really curious if you have any other ideas of other places that card could have been stolen. Because I feel like I've covered all my bases now. I'm just kind of hesitant. I'm waiting to see if it happens again. But I really feel like there's something else I could do to prevent it. So if you have any other ideas at all, please let me know. I'd love to take any precautions that I can. And that is all for this episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.